Selenium's tool suite. Selenium is composed of multiple software tools. Each has a specific role. Selenium IDE, or Integrated Development Environment. Selenium IDE features. Selenium IDE is a simple and easy-to-use framework, which comes as a plugin in the Firefox browser. One does not require in-depth programming knowledge to create tests. Selenium IDE is popular with beginners in order to learn about concepts on automated testing and Selenium commands, such as type open, click and wait, etc. to test web applications. IDE can be used for simple record and playback of test scripts, where the code does not need huge customization. Mostly used to create simple test cases, which are then exported to WebDriver or Selenium RC. Can test a web application for Firefox only. Selenium 1 or Selenium RC or Remote Control. Selenium RC was the main Selenium project for a long time, before Selenium 2. Selenium 1 features. Supports real browsers only, no HTML unit support. Needs a graphical desktop environment, slower but more realistic compared to HTML unit. JavaScript-based approach. When used in unit tests, you need a proxy application to control the browser, Selenium RC. Limited by the browser's JavaScript security model. Complex API. API has evolved over time. Dictionary-based approach. API methods for specific HTML elements. For example, checking checkboxes, selecting radio buttons, selecting elements from drop-down menus, etc. Selenium 2 or Selenium WebDriver. It is the future direction of Selenium with a more cohesive and objects-oriented API. Selenium 2 still runs Selenium 1's Selenium RC interface for backwards compatibility. WebDriver APIs. Simple, object-oriented API. Supports real browsers and headless HTML unit. Uses most appropriate mechanism to control the browser, i.e., automation controls, Firefox, extension, Chrome, WebDriver API. Not limited by browser's JavaScript security model. More realistic simulation of the user's actions by using OS-level events, typing, mouse. No API methods for specific HTML elements, for example checking checkboxes, etc. You use click and type commands only. This could be a disadvantage. You can no longer manipulate non-visible fields, for example hidden fields. This could be a disadvantage. Methods to wait for elements to appear. Very useful for testing Ajax applications. WebDriver benefits. You do no longer need Selenium RC proxy to control the browser in your unit tests. WebDriver is able to control the browser directly. Selenium RC and Selenium Grid from Selenium 1 have been merged into Selenium Server. Supports all major desktop browsers, i.e., Firefox, Opera, Git, Chrome, mobile browsers, iPhone, Android, and headless HTML unit. Selenium 1 versus WebDriver. WebDriver is faster than Selenium RC, since it speaks directly to the browser, uses the browser's own engine to control it. Selenium RC is slower, since it uses a JavaScript program called Selenium Core. WebDriver interacts with page elements in a more realistic way. For example, if you have a disabled text box on a page you are testing, WebDriver really cannot enter any value and it just does, how a real person cannot. WebDriver's API is simpler than Selenium RC's. Selenium RC's API is more matured, but contains redundancies and often confusing commands. WebDriver can support the headless HTML unit browser. WebDriver cannot readily support new browsers. Selenium RC has built-in test result generator. Selenium 1 versus WebDriver. Selenium Grid. Selenium Grid is used to run tests in parallel. The tests that are run in parallel can be executed in multiple browsers running in multiple systems, running different OSs.